Hey, folks, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Monday, January 27th, and I am in Trussville, Alabama, on my way to Mobile for the Senior Bowl, just about 20 minutes north of Birmingham here. Got about 4 hours to go. Before this afternoon, I will talk to Senior Bowl Executive Director Jim Nagy and a couple of players. I am expecting one of those players to be Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, so that should be interesting. So stick around for that, of course, here on the YouTube channel and as well as at SteelersNow.com. And we also are expecting Steelers President Art Rooney to talk at some point this week, and Aaron Becker will be in Pittsburgh for that. So we have that going on as well. But yeah, so headed to the Senior Bowl, Steelers staff is split between the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl, which is also happening at the same time in the northern suburbs of Dallas, Texas. And so they've got some scouts over there, but I'm expecting the heavy hitters, the usual suspects, Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, some position coaches, etc., to be here in Mobile, as the Steelers probably focus on the Senior Bowl more as an organization than just about any other NFL team. And I'm expecting that to continue with a really good draft class in terms of positions that the Steelers need. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's what they do. That's why they do it. So the question from a Mr. Harris in Friday's comments, who asked, when the Steelers are building their draft board, do they only look at the positions they need, the players they think might be available, or do they kind of rank the entire thing? And I think that's a good question. And the answer is sort of both. So whenever you're setting up a draft board and evaluating, you have to look at your options, right? So, like, let's say the Steelers came into this draft just saying, like, we absolutely need an outside cornerback. Okay, that is 100% our biggest need. That's all we need. Really need to be focused on outside cornerback. They're going to look at all the outside cornerbacks, and that's going to include Travis Hunter, who's probably going to go number one overall, or I would take number one overall. I don't know what Tennessee's going to do. But, yeah, so they're going to evaluate all the players. That way you have to know how you feel about everyone, right? So say you think Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft. Well, okay. Are we going to trade up to one to get him? No, we don't think we need one that bad. There's enough guys in this first round. We got Jahdae Barron here. We got Ben Morrison here. We'll be all right. Okay. But, all right, what if he falls to 10? What if he falls to 12? What if he falls to 8? Where are we comfortable saying, oh, it's worth it to go up to get that guy? You have to know how you feel about every player. What if they say all this about cornerback, and then Abdul Carter is available at 21 somehow? Like he fall, you have to know how you feel about all the other options. You have to understand what the pros and cons are of every player. You have to understand every situation that you think you might get yourself into, might be able to get into, et cetera, et cetera. And so they're going to holistically evaluate almost every player in the draft throughout the college football season. Okay, that is, and they're going to build their draft board based on their evaluations in person. We write about them at SteelersNow.com all the time, where the Steelers scouts are on a Saturday. Though they're at Ohio State, they're at Indiana, they're at Washington, they're at Texas, whatever. You have to build your draft board based on those evaluations that you did from the college football season. Now, when you get to the Senior Bowl part of it, when you get to the combine, when you get to the pro day, yeah, you're targeting your focus some. You've already sort of started to build the board. You've already identified the players that you think you might be likely to draft, whether it's because you just like them, you need that position, or you think they're going to be available in the range of draft picks. So like the Steelers are going to look at who might be the best player available at number 21 overall, and they're probably going to rank 25 players that they think might be the best player available at 21 overall, just to do their due diligence. What if the best player overall is a tackle, right? Well, they're probably not going to take him, but they want to know what they're going to do instead. Are they going to try to trade back? Do they just let him sit there? Do they skip and pass? Whatever, So, but when they're going to be at the Senior Bowl, you're still going to have some scouts that are doing that sort of 10,000-foot perspective, looking at everyone. They're going to be breaking down the tape, which teams get the tape of these Senior Bowl practices, and break it down and add to the evaluation of every player they evaluated during the college football season. But when you look at what Mike Tomlin is doing at the Senior Bowl, he's not really spending a lot of time looking at players the Steelers are not going to draft or don't have any inclination to draft. He's going to be looking at the team's big needs: the corners, the running backs, the wide receivers, the defensive tackles, and the quarterbacks. And so, like last year, he was hyper focused on tackle, wide receiver, cornerback. Like that's what they ended up drafting. remember very specifically him putting Roman Wilson against Quinyon Mitchell and saying, okay, I want to see how you guys do against one another for a drill. And so those kind of things, you are not gonna you're not gonna do that with a player that you don't think you might end up drafting. Now, there's meetings at the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. People will tell you about meetings at the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl, and certainly some of those meetings can be newsworthy. Oh, this guy said this, or they said they really like me because of this, or whatever. But every team will meet with every player at the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. So some team meeting with like the Steelers meeting with literally anybody at one of these does not mean anything. But now, was Mike Tomlin in the meeting? Was Omar Khan in the meeting? Or was it just a position coach or a scout? Because that's a big, that's a difference, right? So you say, like, oh, so-and-so met with the Steelers. Like, yeah, everybody at the Senior Bowl will meet with the Steelers. Did he talk to Mike Tomlin? Did he talk to Omar Khan? Did he talk to his position coach? Is his position coach here? The Steelers are only going to send a couple position coaches usually. So the position coaches that come will tell us a little bit about what they think they're most likely to draft. All the position coaches go to Indy, but the same thing. Was your meeting formal or informal? Who did you talk to? Those matter a little bit more. And at the combine, you have a limited number of interviews, so they all do matter to some extent, formal interviews anyway. But yeah, I mean, and then pro days, of course. Where's Mike Tomlin going? Where's Omar Khan going? Is it a scout, as assistant coach? That tells you their level of interest. So, but when they build their draft board, everybody's on it. Everybody's on it, and then they're gonna narrow down who they think is going to be available and the situations that they would like to get themselves into, and the situations they think might happen, that they think are bad situations, they have to figure out a way to get themselves out of. So, okay, like we really want to take a wide receiver in the first round, but what if Ibuka and Golden and Burden are all gone? Then what? Should we? If two of the first three are gone, do we need to trade up at that point? No. Okay, it's deep wide receiver class. Okay, then what? Well, maybe we like these D tackles. Which D tackle do you like? Those kind of conversations are ongoing. They start back in the college football season, and as you learn more about these players, like the 10,000 foot perspective is what the scouts are here for. They'll add to the scouting reports of each of those players. They'll move guys up and down the draft board based on their performance at the Senior Bowl, based on how they run at the combine, their weights and measurements. A lot of times colleges lie about how big a player actually is. So you get a tape measure to him and you say, oh, he's not 6'2", he's 5'11". That might change the way you feel about that player. So just the weigh-in day is impactful for some guys. And you go through that process. So that process for me really starts this week. I've been paying attention to the college football season. I have a general idea of how good, what players are, but this will be the first time I'm really in draft evaluation mode, hardcore. And so I'll be trying to figure out who the Steelers are going to draft. And I think we do a pretty good job of it, SteelersNow.com. We've always put a lot of attention to the draft. And so excited to bring you guys along on this process again. This is the first time, right? So we didn't have this podcast. So if you have like in-depth questions like this about the draft, about the Senior Bowl specifically this week, or if you just want me to spend an entire 7 to 10 minutes talking about one player, we can do that as well. Definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And of course, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Moving towards 15,000 subs. Really excited about that. Thank you all so much for listening and for watching. Until next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And enjoy.